I'm Richard from Electric Classic Cars, and today is one of my favourite days because it's test drive day for a new car we've built. This one here. And there's also going to be a little bit of a surprise for Tim, so stay tuned. So where have we come to test drive this beautiful machine? Well, where else but to give it justice for its handling and performance? Ellen Valley in Mid Wales, some of the best driving roads you can get in our country. But before we get into the driving, let's tell you a bit about the car. What we have here is the last year of the 911 G-body, and that was made from 1973 up to 1989, and this is an 89. And it's got the iconic whale tail at the back, which I must admit I was never a fan of, but I'm getting to like it. I'm getting to like it a lot, in fact. So this is a 1989, and the last time you saw this was on the episode where we were talking about the conversion kit we do for Porsche 911s. Click on the link above, and this was halfway through that process. But now, as is quite obvious because we're test driving it, it's finished. What used to be in the back here was a 3.2 litre flat six, and not the 914 gearbox, it was the G50 gearbox, I think it was. But no more, because underneath we've got that Tesla drive unit. It's a small Tesla drive unit in this, and half of the battery pack. Where's the rest of the battery pack? Well, it's in the front. So we've split it 50-50 at 60 kilowatt hours total. So we've got 30 kilowatt hours in the rear, 30 in the front, to get a better weight distribution and therefore better handling than the original car. So the guys haven't quite finished the carpeting in here, but this gives you an idea as to where this is. So it's sitting down where the old spare wheel used to be, and a little bit higher as well. So you've lost a little bit of boot space, but you've still got a fair, decent sized boot in here. Just like with most of our conversions now, we've got rapid charging on this one. So in here, we have a 150 kilowatt peak CCS rapid charging socket, just where the old fuel filler used to be. Interior wise, nothing has really changed. We've still got that very ergonomic dial layout that you get in 911s, except obviously we've changed the dials for more EV orientated dials. So you got your state of charge for your battery there, you got the battery temperature, motor temperature, but yeah, the layout is exactly the same. The main thing we've changed is there's no gear shifter here. I've got a direction knob just down to my left here for reverse, neutral and drive, and obviously there's no clutch pedal either. This is kind of the iconic stroke controversial part of this era of 911, because people either love it or hate it. I wasn't a fan, if I'm honest, but on this car, I don't know what it is, but it just is right. Proportionally, this makes this car for me. So I've really been converted with this car to love the not picnic table, whale tail. One of the things I definitely want to get a conclusion from today is whether or not I want to do any suspension changes on this car. So currently the ride height and the stance is spot on. I'm liking that. We've adjusted that perfectly. But I've always put Bilstein Sport shocks on most Porsches that I've ever owned myself and for customers. And currently this is completely stock setup. So I want to see today, do we leave it stock or do we tweak and improve a little bit the suspension? All right, go on, Tim. That's enough talking. Sun's out. The roads are empty. Let's get driving. So I've got to be honest straight from the start here. I've never been a massive fan of 911s. I like them, but handling wise, I was always a Porsche 914 guy because the weight distribution is a little bit more central. They're just, you know, sharper, I think, handling wise. 911s are good, but not fantastic, if you like, not this era. or 1970s era, let's say. If you put a 914 and a 911 side by side on roads like this with the same engine, the 914 is better at handling. So one of the reasons why I love this car is because we've sorted out that rearward weight bias, if you like, and put a bit more weight up front. So now this is more like a 911 but with 914 handling. So today we've got two things I want to cover. Number one, I'm test driving this because this is the first time properly it's been driven. We only got it going this week, so I'm gonna start getting a snag list together of things I want sorted out back at the workshop next week. But the second thing is Tim's gonna drive.
Oh yeah.
Didn't know that, did you?
No.
So all Tim's Christmases have come at once because he's finally going to get to drive one of our cars. And what better car for him to drive than a Porsche 911. So yeah, happy birthday, Christmas, Tim.
Yeah, and it's the top of my list as well as far as cars go.
I'm trying to wean you off your
911s.
I'm trying to wean you off your British cars, mate.
Yeah.
And get some German cars, some proper cars. Look at your smile on your face. You look like a kid at Christmas.
Come on then, pull in, let me in.
Wait, patient young Padawan. Now, it's fair to say this is not my first rodeo as far as electric 911s are concerned. We've done quite a few, and I've driven all of them, including that beautiful blue Porsche 912 as well. Click on the link above if you want to see that episode. So, I've driven these, I know what they're like. They're fantastic cars, love them to bits, but it's about time Tim experienced this. So, I'm going to pull over and let the big man have a drive.
Oh yeah. Let me at it.
Right, so I want you to be nice and relaxed now for your driving lesson.
So which
show me what you've learned over the last few weeks.
which one's the brake again? Is it the one on the left or the one on the right?
Well, are you left or right-footed?
Left-footed. Another problem I've got is I ain't got much room.
You're too tall.
Yeah.
No.
So I need to make
what a surprise.
Make it a bit more roomy.
I've got the opposite. I'm too far back here, so I need to adjust this. So, because it's a late model 911, you've got all the luxuries in here: electric windows, electric sunroof, etc., and electric seats.
Electric windscreen wipers?
Yes, electric wipers. Yes.
Okay, let's
so
find
there's
the
buttons down there, and you've got two.
Oh, that's
there
up.
you go.
I don't want that. That's back. Don't want that one.
Yeah. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right, that's as far down as it goes.
Yeah, there's two round buttons.
Yeah, I got them. That's the one.
And then we'll do the same.
That's the one.
Oh, I'm not used to this. It's too much luxury.
Right, I'm sitting
I don't have
comfortably
electric
now.
seats in most of my classics.
I'm sitting comfortably now. Do you know what?
Yeah, I'm not.
This, I think, is one of the few cars that you've done that we've tested that I can actually sit in comfortably.
Oh, yeah.
Every other car, it's a real struggle for me to drive.
A 911 is the usable classic, don't forget. It's the usable supercar of its day, but you can drive these as everyday drivers.
This
you
is
can.
Comfy, yeah. Okay, you ready to go?
Yeah. Brake. So you have every foot on the brake to select drive. Yeah, remember that. Okay. Why do I feel nervous all of a sudden?
Well, grab the seat. That's what I do when you're driving.
I'm not a good passenger.
You're not a good driver. Oh, yes.
All right, mirror signal and manoeuvre now. Speed bump. I'm going to be the worst co-driver in the world. Whoa, slow down, watch out for this van.
That speed bump, I was worried we were going to take the exhaust off.
Yeah, no problem with that.
Oh, this is so smooth.
It's nice, isn't it? See, I could quite easily see you in a 911.
I could as well. Do you know what? You know, very often we talk about poster cars, the cars that you had on your wall when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And I think yours was like a Countach, wasn't it?
It was a Countach, and a girl playing tennis with an itchy bum.
Yeah. Well, my poster car was a black 80s 911.
Was it?
Just like this one, yeah.
Oh, with the whale tail on the back?
With a big whale tail on it.
Ah, so you're driving your poster child
Never
car.
meet your heroes. But
oh, I think you'll like this one.
I also remember that there was an advertising campaign at the time by a shaver company called Braun.
Right.
And their advert was this black. They made the sort of black outline of the 911 matched, well, to some extent, the outline of this shaver they had. And I can remember thinking, wow, that's a cool car.
There's probably a black and white advert back in the day for you, wasn't it?
So the first thing I've noticed is how smooth this is to drive.
Oh yeah.
And the second thing I've noticed is, God, it'd be easy to lose your license.
Oh yeah.
I am only tickling the accelerator, and we're just doing under 60, which is just under the legal speed limit. So
yeah,
it wouldn't take much for me to breathe a little heavier on that right foot, and we'd be...
Now you can see why I like doing what I do. Bear in mind, this is a Tesla small drive unit. This is the least.
It's not even the
least powerful one.
Powerful one. No.
It's not even a Model 3 motor. It's not even a large Tesla drive unit. This is the baby motor. This is plenty enough.
Well,
for a car like the Porsche.
Like I say, we're doing 60. I've just double checked that we are doing 60, because I thought, no, we're actually doing 40, but we're not. We're doing 60, but it feels like we're doing 30.
Power in this motor, and the same with any electric car, really comes into its own when you overtake. I'm not saying to overtake now, but you know, you'll feel it when you overtake. It happens in an instant. There's no changing down, clutch, what gear am I in, get the revs up, get the momentum going. Nope, it's like, can I overtake? Yep, and you're done.
But you don't need, you're talking about, this is only the small drive unit and it's not even the big ones. I question whether you actually need the big one, because if this was my daily driver, I am cruising now just under 60 mile an hour, and it's effortless.
Yeah, and look how many amps you're using as well. It's hardly anything.
I'm hardly using any. So if I'm using minimal amps, I imagine that means that the range as well is going to be pretty good, because I'm not asking for a lot of energy. Yep.
Range-wise, you probably, it's a 60 kilowatt hour battery pack. It's a fairly aerodynamic car with, you know, a smallish frontal area, which is also important when you're looking at the efficiency of a car. So you're probably going to get around about 180 mile range with this.
Another thing I've noticed is we were going up a bit of an incline there, and the car in front of us obviously had to change down and go through the revs and what have you to keep their momentum going, and you could see the car changing in front, the car in front changing speed, I suppose, as it went up that hill. But for me, absolutely made no difference whatsoever. I could just leave the accelerator where it was, and in fact I had to back off, otherwise we'd have caught the car up. But a hill is no problem, is it? Or an incline is no problem for this.
No. That's the benefit of all that torque from an electric motor, mate. It laughs at hills.
There's far too much torque in this car, thank you.
Nice bit of pickup, isn't it?
You see, and this is the bit I can't get my head round. That then went from that junction up to 60 in a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
But it was no trouble at all. It was just so easy for it to do. And you didn't feel like you were doing 60 mile an hour.
See, petrol heads out there, I mean, bear in mind we're both petrol heads as well, really. I mean, we're car heads. We like cars whether or not they're petrol, diesel, electric. I don't give a monkeys. But pure petrol heads are pretty much anti-EV. They don't get that. They're so stuck in their ways about, oh, where's the noise and all that sort of stuff. They're preventing themselves actually going out and actually enjoying and try an electric car, because that bit there never gets old.
We were talking about this the other day at the racetrack, weren't we? And the fact that people associate noise with speed. So when you're on the racetrack, it sounds loud, so you think you're going fast.
Yeah.
And I think the point I'm making with this is the fact that it's quiet makes you think like you're not actually moving.
Yeah.
But I'm doing 60 mile an hour before I even thought about it.
Yeah. That was one of my biggest challenges at the racetrack, is actually figuring out what speed I'm doing into corner entries, because in a petrol car you can hear it. You can hear, you know, where the revs are, you can, you know, what gear you're in. I was going faster and faster into corners and not actually realising how fast I'm going into corners. So now we're going to stop for lunch and we're going to pull up at our favourite charging stop. You know why it's my favourite? Certainly my dad's favourite.
Because it's free?
Because it's free. And it's charging off the hydropower from the dam here. Now, we quite often get asked, where does electricity come from to charge up your electric vehicles? Well, I can tell you exactly where it comes from this place, and that's just behind Tim. There's a big dam, and the power for this place comes from the hydro plant just at the base of that dam. It powers this whole building, including the charge socket here, which is also free. It's also worth mentioning that we don't actually need to charge out, but we do need to eat because we're starving. But never look a gift horse in the mouth. Free charging, why wouldn't you? Well, what do you think of that then, mate?
You know the old never meet your heroes?
Yeah.
Well, as I said, that's my sort of poster car from the 80s, and it's exceeded expectations. So it's really impressive.
What
a great car. It's got everything, isn't it?
Listen, as I've said in the car, it's a fantastic all-rounder. It's got practicality, it's got performance, handling, looks.
Yeah, it's so usable, isn't it? It's comfortable inside. It's just like driving. It's got the ease of use as a modern car, but it doesn't look like a modern car, does it? Looks great.
It goes like a modern car.
Yeah, it does.
So, I mean, there's not much snagging we've got to do today. I mean, in fact, I can only think of one thing. There's a plastic bit on the heater that's not there, so we'll have to sort that out. But apart from that, I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
If it was mine, I would probably stiffen up the suspension a little bit, go with those Bilstein sport shocks that I quite often put on, but I'm going to wait until the customer comes and test drives it in a few weeks, and she can make the decision then. Also, she can make the decision as to whether or not she wants us to put power steering on the front as well. Yeah. I personally think it needs it, but you know, the customer is going to make that decision. So, but apart from those, the guys have nailed it. The guys in the workshop have got it right first time in this one, and so we should. It's been 8 years since we've been converting cars. They should know what we're doing by now.
Yeah, and if nothing else, we've had a great day testing it around the Elan Valley. But one thing I did notice, because people always say, don't they, when they're sort of putting up their sort of problem with people who convert classics to electric, is they say you lose the sound. But what I've noticed as we've been filming, I'm getting to really like the sound of electric cars. It makes a bit of a sound like a spaceship. It's the best I can describe it.
Yeah.
And I do wonder, as you know, manufacturers start to make more performance-y electric cars, if they'll start to develop that, as they did with ICE cars, because the first ICE cars, nobody said they sounded good, did they? But they've sort of tuned them or developed them. No. I imagine they'll do the same for electric cars.
I like the way that you've invented a word there, performance-y.
Did I?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard that word before. You heard it here first, everybody. Performance-y. This is the source of where that word came from. But you're right, when the Model T Ford first came out, nobody went, oh, I love the sound of that. But as things progressed and the marketing department started to get involved, and they realised there's something to be made out of that exhaust noise, that's when they really went down that sort of like, yeah, let's make these things sound throaty. But originally, now that, as I said, when it was driving past, it sounded like the Jetsons. It sounded futuristic, it sounded awesome. And it's because we've taken some of the sound deadening away from, you know, the Tesla motor, if you like. So I agree. I think once the Lamborghinis and the Ferraris get their mind around the fact that electric cars can sound pretty cool, they'll start to really lean on the sound of it, I reckon.
Yeah.
So there you go. You heard it here first. But yeah, I'm thoroughly been impressed with that car. Tim has definitely been converted over to the dark side now, away from his British sports cars. I think he's going to start looking on the internet tonight how much 911s and
too much. I know that one. I know the answer to that one. They're too much.
He's already checked. But there you go. I'm going to finish my coffee and have a little bit of a free charge here, but I'll leave you to it, and I hope you enjoyed this episode, everybody, and we'll see you on the next one.